What up, Aggies, and anybody else that's watching? This is your boy A&T-roy, back for the third week of the Unofficial-ish A&T athletic report. We've got a few things to talk about this week. Some important things are going on early in the week coming up. I'll talk about that last, about what I'm going to talk about. So, wanted to let you know that I don't know if you all have heard. Of course, our man Ron Jackson, small forward or power forward, whichever one he played most on our basketball team, signed with a team in Germany. I don't know, I can't say the name of it. Just know that he signed a professional contract. He's going to be playing overseas in Germany in their professional basketball league. So yeah, congratulations to Ron, and we wish him well. Maybe we'll be able to figure out, I'm going to try and see if I can figure out ways we might be able to let you know when they might be on TV. So I'm going to try to do that, and we'll see what happens. Oh, you know what? Last week I forgot to remind you or ask you all if you would go ahead and look down there. I think in the lower right or left-hand corner of the screen, I think it's the left-hand corner for what you'll be seeing. There should be a subscribe button. The more we subscribe, the more it'll get around to people. And of course, whenever I post something to my YouTube page, then you'll get an email or an indication of the new thing that goes on there. So if you would, subscribe and pass it on to any other Aggies or anybody else that might be interested in supporting A&T athletics. Let me also tell you that we also have had a few things that have happened since football recruiting has started. So BlueDeathValley.com, of course I mentioned that last week or maybe the week before, is one of the sources where I get information about A&T athletics. And I'm seeing on there a bunch of posts of the commitments, early commitments for football. And matter of fact, we just had one today that I saw for basketball. But so far, we've got 4 defensive backs, 2 defensive ends, 1 linebacker, and 1 wide receiver. And I'm going to tell you that these kids, they've got some pretty good offers in terms of FBS offers, FCS offers to some schools that are highly competitive in the space where we play. So we think these kids, based on what I'm seeing anyway, you know, they have some pretty good talent. And of course, I don't know if you all know the difference in football on the college level. You know, you have the different levels. You have Division I, Division II, Division III. Then you go down from there, NAIA, and then some other stuff. Maybe even I might add in there independence. But we play in Division I. But or the important thing that you have to know is that Division I is actually split up into 2 levels. So there's the top level, or Power 5, or the larger, or more, I don't want to say more competitive, because at each level, competition is high at that particular level. But in Division I, it's split into 2 things. FBS, or the Football Bowl Subdivision, and that's for the ACC, Big Ten, SEC, Pac-12, or whatever they're called now. And you'll hear a lot of times those conferences called Power 5. So that's FBS, and they play each year to try to go to bowl games. And of course, you know, the FBS National Championship also has a playoff that is 4 teams that get picked to play in a semifinal game and then go to the national championship. Well, we play football in the FCS, or the Football Championship Subdivision. And there there's actually a playoff, a much larger playoff system that's set up than is in the FBS level within Division I, where I think it's 24 total teams get either an automatic bid or they get invited to participate in the playoffs at the FCS level, and eventually they end up playing an FCS national champion is determined. Well, the NBAC and the SWAC decided that they didn't want to participate in the playoffs. And so they created this thing with ESPN. It was created with them called the Celebration Bowl. And I know, of course, that you all know that we won 4 out of the 5. Man, we should have been in all 5 of them, but I'm going to say that school in Durham was lucky our quarterback. We were on our 3rd string quarterback, and he simply didn't have a good game in that game. He had done pretty well when he had played during the season, especially when we beat Kent State. Kent State was the FBS opponent that we played that year, and we went into 4 overtimes. And Femi Miro was his name. I think that's right. He engineered, I think, 2 touchdowns drives and won the game on a touchdown pass to Denzel Keys in the end of the overtime, in the 4th overtime. So what I'm saying there is the SWAC and the MEAC play in the Celebration Bowl, and we frankly should have all 5 of them. But you know, that's neither here nor there. We're 4-time Celebration Bowl winners, 4-time national champions during that time span, HBCU national champions. So it's all good. And of course, we ended up with somewhere around $2.4 million and some championships. Man, we're killing it. Okay, so let me see. Yes, those are our commitments for football. I just looked on BlueDeathValley.com and saw that we got a commitment from a 6'5", I think, guard, 2-guard, small forward out of, I think, Douglasville, Georgia. So we got a commitment. We got 1 basketball commitment. Let me also say that we got another transfer football player. We got what was a 2-star safety who transferred from the Naval Academy, and I think he's going to be available for us this year. And so, man, this team, I'm going to tell you, it's loaded like I've never seen, or I don't think we've ever seen. Matter of fact, I was wrong last week. I think I said it's 26 transfers, or no, I said 26 2- to 4-star players from high school. Well, this kid comes along, he adds to that, so he's another 2-star. And the number was actually, before he transferred, it was 29. I had my count off somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. But now we've got 30 kids on this football team that were either 2, 3, or 4-star players in high school. Man, that's a big deal. I'm gonna say it is difficult today, anyway, to find any HBCU program that has 30 2- to 4-star players on one team. It's a big deal. Okay, so the big news of the day, matter of fact, it kind of started yesterday. That was when I first saw it. And then HBCU Game Day, remember I told you about them last time. They put out a report, or they reported yesterday that A&T has possibly another path to be able to play football in the fall. So this coming September or whatever, they might start playing. Well, a little bit before that, there was a hubbub going on around HBCU, not HBCU Game Day, but Blue Death Valley, another group I'm in another place that was questioning what's going to happen on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So I don't know if you know, but if you do, that's cool. But if you don't know, there has been scheduled a meeting of the, I'm gonna make sure I get this name right, A&T's Athletic Assessment Committee. Now, I think that's the same group that was heavily involved in doing the research and making the recommendation to the Board of Trustees for our move to the Big South coming up next year. I think that's the same group. I'm gonna be shocked if it's a different group. But they have a meeting at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. We don't really know what they're talking about for sure, but there is speculation that I'll get to here in a second. There's speculation going on about it. Well, immediately following that 11 a.m. meeting at 12 p.m., how about there's been a meeting call for our Board of Trustees? going to be interesting. So we'll see what this thing is all about. But I'm going to tell you what the speculation is. Speculation is, let me say this before I go there. Hampton, don't know if you know it, but a few weeks ago, a couple, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, Hampton announced that they would not be playing football in the fall. Of course, Hampton also decided a while ago that they were going to just do all online classes. But they decided that they would not be playing football in the fall. So the speculation is that we, A&T, will take the games that Hampton wasn't going to be playing in the Big South, and we would play those games. Now that's going to be interesting. And I'm going to tell you, I'm torn about it. I'm torn about the fact that, man, what if some kids get sick and, it just turns into the worst situation? On the other side, there are a lot of kids who put in a lot of hard work, and as I understand it, they really want to play bad. I mean, they really want to play bad. And they were pretty upset when the MEAC canceled the season for the fall. Canceled fall sports. There are also some kids on our team that have some outside or maybe some inside shots at going to the next level. And so this kind of puts a bit of an issue out there for those kids. We've seen that there have been kids who have put their names in the transfer portal. And if you don't know about that, kids can go to a school and decide that they want to transfer. And I think it was in 2018, they created this thing called the transfer portal, and kids can put their name in there and see what kind of interest they get to see if they might want to transfer. Matter of fact, we've got one player who I believe has put his name in there in the transfer portal, Dante Keys. He was scheduled, as I understand it, to be our starting left tackle. Dante, before all this stuff started happening, wanted to play football and has a chance to go, I think, to the next level. He's been a very good right tackle for us, and I think he's played some guard for us on the right side too. But Dante, along with a few others, I've seen there's a player from South Carolina State who actually is an NFL prospect. I mean, legitimate NFL prospect. Put his name in the transfer portal. Somebody joked that we should go after him. He's actually, I think, from Cary, North Carolina, but I don't think we will be able to do that. But I don't know all the rules around all that stuff. So the big news. And there's going to be a meeting of the Athletic Assessment Committee on Tuesday at 11 a.m. and then the Board of Trustees at 12 p.m. We'll see what happens. Just puts a lot of things in play, or possibilities. We could play that schedule up in the Big South. We could possibly still play North Dakota State. And of course, we could still play Liberty for that money game. North Dakota State is the 8 out of the 9 past years. I know I'm saying that wrong. They've won 8 of the last 9 FCS championships. They lost to what's the name of that school? James Madison a few years ago, but they've won 8 out of the last 9. And of course, we're scheduled to go up there. And here's what I'm saying. I think our team and several others and our coach would say the same thing. Both Liberty and North Dakota State, they better not sleep. They better not take us for granted at all. And I'm going to go with Coach Washington and say, put the ball down. Let's go. So that's the big news. Let me also tell you this, a couple things. So we talked about football, we talked about basketball. I do want to add a couple plugs here for some of the other sports. Matter of fact, next week, I'm going to go down through all the sports that we do, both men and women. and let you know all those things. Of course, you can find that on ncataggies.com. You can go there and see it yourself. But what was it? Division I baseball, who does some, looking at the teams in Division I, and does some assessments of them, actually named our baseball team as the best baseball team in the conference for last year that we didn't get to play. Matter of fact, we were scheduled or picked to win the conference again. 2 years ago, we won the Southern Division because in baseball, the MBAC was split into two divisions. So we won the Southern Division, then we won the conference tournament. So we were the MBAC champions and went to the baseball playoffs, played 2 or 3 games over in Chapel Hill. So that was that. And then last year we won the Southern Division again, but lost to those folks down there in Florida. The ones that have green color, whatever it is, I can't remember the name. But we lost to them, and then they ended up winning the conference tournament. So baseball, looking good. How about this? There is some talk that with a few more pieces, maybe in the field events, maybe in some of the distance running, and maybe in some of the speed events, that our track and field teams, both men and women, are going to be vying, or could be vying for coming close to NCAA National Championship. I think last year, if you remember, I think they both ended up 12. I think it was 12 or 15, I can't quite remember. I'll get that straight maybe next time, or maybe you can go look it up. But a lean here or there, or a step here or there, man, we might have been top 10. But as I understand it, our track and field teams, both men and women, have some great classes coming in for this year, and we are going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think that's all I want to say. Baseball, track and field. Oh, volleyball. Volleyball is doing really well too. Almost made it to the championship game last year, or the championship last year up at Howard, but missed it by a little bit. I think they lost to Maryland Eastern Shore. But for those sports, man, we are really doing well. Football, basketball, baseball, track and field, both men and women, and volleyball. We got some work, from what I can tell, to do on the other sports. But of course, I know you know that we're working hard, and the coaches and the administration is working hard because I think if you talk to our athletic director, Earl Hilton, he wants us to be the best in everything, not just one sport here, one sport there. You might find, like you see in the ACC, Duke is a big basketball school. Who's big in football? In football, in the SEC, Alabama's big. LSU is big, but not big in basketball. But of course, our mantra is we want to be good in everything. Matter of fact, be the best. So I think that's all I'm going to have for this week. Next week, oh man, I got a little issue going on. I might not have my my producer and editor next week, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make this happen. She doesn't want me to tell you who she is at this point because she's a little bit concerned about, I don't know, she's just being a little shy, I think. So I might not have her next week, but what I'm trying to do is go ahead and start with some of the interviews that I'm going to have with some of the folks that I talked about. Aggie Athletic Foundation, some of our former baseball, football, basketball, Hall of Famers and those kinds of things. So we'll see how that happens. But yeah, I'm kind of struggling here about my producer and editor and what she might be able to do for me next week. All right, so I'm gonna say that's it for this week. And I also want to let you know that I'm really trying to stay under 30 minutes. Last week I went 40 minutes and I got all caught up in all the players that we had. But I'm trying to stay under 30 minutes and we'll see how that happens. So that's it for this week. And I'm gonna give you a hearty A&T-roy.